Welcome to Stegman Coliseum in Athens, Georgia on a Thursday night. SEC Network women's basketball as the second-ranked and defending national champion South Carolina Gamecocks are in town to take on the Georgia Lady Bulldogs. And good evening, I'm Matt Stewart, joined by former Miss Georgia basketball, Lady Bulldogs All-SEC Anne-Marie Armstrong, and Anne-Marie Gamecocks roll into town, 9-0 in the SEC. They've lost only once the entire regular season, that to number one UCLA. They've won 56 consecutive SEC regular season games, and a first for Georgia tonight. The Lady Bulldogs are a 30-point underdog on their home floor.
And that's right, Georgia has their hands full, led by Dawn Staley. South Carolina has brought a big presence here today. And as you mentioned, they are undefeated in the SEC, and Georgia has a big matchup today here in Stegman.
Gamecocks deep and talented roster, 10 players they go. All 10 players could start almost any other program, led by Te-Hina, the four-time All-Conference, All-American, and a finalist for the Lieberman Award a year ago and on that list again this year.
Te-Hina, two-time All-American, having a great assist. She's really been solid for the Gamecocks, as you see here. Great read off of the screen, attacks the basket, finishes big through contact, and Coach Dawn Staley is excited about it. Great read here. Te-Hina is a big offensive threat. And what does Coach Staley have to say about it? Pow. Pow will be huge tonight as she leads her team with her balanced scoring and her great court vision.
And just how deep is this South Carolina bench? Well, their bench scoring is the number one scoring bench in the country, and 11 times this season their bench has outscored the opponent's starters.
And I mean, this is a stat you rarely see. I mean, to have the depth, this is a number 2 team in the country, to have the depth that they have on their bench is scoring more than their starters. I mean, that just speaks to how thorough Dawn Staley has done with recruiting and getting some of these top players in the country at her program.
Meantime, Georgia with the young team, they are starting 3 freshmen on a nightly basis for the first time since 2013, but their senior, Asia Avenger, continues to be the rock of the program.
Asia Avenger, as you can see, I mean, 4th in the SEC in assists, 3rd in steals. She has really just been someone who does not back down. She's relentless. She pushes her team. She's a leader, and Georgia will need her leadership today.
Georgia wins the opening tip. They are in their home white, and South Carolina sporting a brand new uniform here tonight, new black kits with the Carolina script across the front, trimmed in garnet. Ball goes to Jahate. 10 on the shot clock. Georgia going to play this one much like they did the Ole Miss game last Thursday night and try to control the tempo of the game.
South Carolina does such a great job of making their defense turn into offense. They are lethal in transition and scoring off of turnovers. And Coach Abe told us, as you mentioned, they have got to keep the pace of the game, not take bad shots, and make sure that they are moving at a pace for Georgia to win.
2 Georgia girls in the starting 5 for South Carolina. Fagan starred at Forest Park, and Johnson starred at Westlake, both those schools in Atlanta. Kitts takes the first shot for Carolina. And the starting 5 for Georgia, Damari Flournoy back in the starting 5 for Georgia. They like her at the top of their matchup defense.
She does a great job communicating, and Flournoy has been a big spark offensively as of late with her leadership. Coach Abe loves how she can lead on the top of the key and communicate in that matchup.
Flournoy misses the three-pointer for Georgia. Georgia played South Carolina well the last time they played at Colonial Life Arena last February. Georgia actually led at halftime, 35-28, until the Gamecocks were able to pull away in the third quarter. Long rebound came out to Jahate. She's got to give up the ball, and does, to Avenger. 90 seconds in and still scoreless here at Stegman Coliseum. Nice crowd on a Thursday night. Of course, South Carolina brought 2 buses load of their fans, and Avenger got knocked down on the shot, no foul call. Traveling call on Pow.
And a quick sub for Georgia. Woolfolk checks in for the big Jahate.
Coach Dawn Staley, legendary coach Dawn Staley, 3-time national champions last year. The 2020-14 became the 10th team in NCAA history to have an undefeated national championship season. Ball goes to Woolfolk, puts it on the floor and drives. Stops, and the first basket of the game comes from Woolfolk, and Georgia has the early 2-0 lead. Corner, Raven Johnson hits the 3.
She missed her first one. They gave her another, and Raven Johnson shooting well from the three-point line. You've got to know where she's located.
She's been shooting 52% from the floor their last 4 games, but just at 38% for the entire season. Trinity Turner missed the jumper. Johnson brings it across. Hall in the paint. And let's see, do we have a whistle on that play? Yeah, we do. A foul on Georgia. Again, Coach A, much like the Ole Miss game plan a week ago, which I thought they did a very good job of following the game plan and had a chance to win it at the end, says got to slow the tempo tonight, got to box out, got to get back on defense and stop the South Carolina transition offense.
I mean, very competitive game against Ole Miss. Georgia did a great job of slowing down the tempo. They had, even as you mentioned, late in the fourth quarter, an opportunity to go ahead. Didn't see the shot go in, but really did a great job of executing.
Bree Hall with the miss.
And Mia Woolfolk with her first foul. As we know, Georgia's 2 freshman bigs have struggled as of late getting into foul trouble, so she'll need to be smart for the rest of this first half.
Yeah, Georgia cannot win this game with Woolfolk and Verse getting in foul trouble tonight. Turner, wild shot. She's in a real shooting slump. 7 for her last 37 over the last 3 games. And Coach Abe says it's simply because the opponent is putting the best defender on Trinity Turner, which is a high compliment for the freshman, but she's got to learn how to adapt and adjust her game to that.
Yeah, and it's a tough match. I mean, day in and day out, going against the top defender. She's only a freshman. She has so much to learn. I think, the sky's really the limit with her potential.
Woolfolk went to the bench after the foul, and now McColo in the game for Georgia. She had a solid first game back, coming back from a 5-game absence from a concussion. Verse puts it on the floor, gets inside with the left hand, and missed the banker. Good look. If I had a nickel for every time I said good look but a miss for Verse, I'd be doing well. I could buy you lunch. Pow hit the 3. A 7-2 lead for South Carolina. Asia had it pickpocketed by Johnson, then knocked out of bounds by Johnson.
Pow, great find by Johnson. Georgia defender not able to get there, and Pow with a 3.
She's their number 1 3-point shooter, 36 for 97 on the season coming into the game. That's 1.6 threes per game, 37%. Avenger, mid-range, way off the mark. Great defense there by Kitts. Good ball movement. Fulwiley has it. Kitts puts it on the floor, goes by Chahate and gets the layup. Kitts is going to be a handful for Georgia's bigs tonight.
Great catch, great rip by Kitts. Georgia not able to get a stop.
Flournoy had an open look and missed it. Georgia started the game 1 for 8. South Carolina 3 for 5. To the corner, and Hall in and out on the 3-point attempt. Gets the offensive rebound. Back around to Hall again, this time from the wing. Had it measured perfectly. And a timeout called by Georgia. And we'll take the timeout with them. Gamecocks out to a 10-point lead in Stegman Coliseum.
And she's just playing incredibly well at a really good pace, where she's seeing it and she's able to make really good decisions. And while I said this on a post-game interview, it's not a one-woman race for National Freshman of the Year. So I got to put a narrative out there that Joyce is doing some incredible things.
And it is amazing that the freshman, Joyce Edwards, two-time National Player of the Year in high school, is the leading scorer for this South Carolina team and doing so many extraordinary things as you look at her resume.
I mean, Edwards leading the number 2 team in the nation in scoring. We all know how many prolific players are on this team. It just really speaks to her ability to jump right in to one of the top teams in one of the top conferences. She's scoring 12.1 points per game against ranked opponents, 57% field goal percentage, which is phenomenal. She's really acclimated well and is playing at a top level here.
And fortunately, Coach Staley was able to sync that up with us, so she's checking into the game for the first time as we are highlighting her, and she gets a block first time on the defensive end. And I think you heard Coach Staley referencing it's not a one-player race for National Freshman of the Year. Might have been in reference to an ESPN story where the 4 experts, including Charlie Kareem, who covers women's college basketball for the network, chose Sarah Strong of UConn as their unanimous choice for National Freshman of the Year.
And Coach Dawn Staley has a great case. You look at Edwards' numbers, you look at how she fills the stat line, how she's shooting the ball in her freshman year, and there is a very valid case for why she should be a contender.
Long three-point attempt by Flournoy, sinks it. Flournoy was 1 for 10 against South Carolina a year ago over in Columbia, so she's anxious to redeem herself in her last chance against the Gamecocks, or at least last regular season chance against the Gamecocks. Fulwiley shot it long, off the hands of Georgia.
Good kick out by Abinger to Flournoy for a deep 3. Georgia will need a little bit more of that to get some momentum here in the first quarter.
Flournoy is number 4 in the SEC, shooting 41% on her threes. She's number 2, or tied for number 2 in the SEC, with 54 total three-pointers coming into tonight's game. Tessa Johnson with the miss, a long miss right there, and McCullough has the rebound. Went for 5 points, 7 rebounds in 24 minutes in their loss to Alabama on Sunday. It was her first game back after missing 5 games with a concussion, and she was a real boost to the program as Georgia outscored the Crimson Tide in the second half, but kind of been the story for Georgia all season long. They have one bad quarter or one bad half that puts them in a too deep of a hole to come back and win.
Yeah, and great to see Roxanne McCullough back out there. She brings experience, she brings energy, and especially on the defensive end, and a hard offensive foul there on the screen by Kitts. Abinger goes down, but she appears to be okay.
That'll be the first team foul on South Carolina, and a 12-5 lead for the Gamecocks with 3 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. South Carolina has won 18 in a row in the all-time series. To show you just how big of a flip we've had in this series, this is the 59th all-time meeting. Georgia still leads 33-25, which means at one point they led 33-7 in the series.
Some good quick math.
Now the Gamecocks have won 18 in a row, going for 19 in a row here tonight. Ahead it comes to Fulwiley. Goes right by Flournoy for the layup. You can see why Fulwiley was one of the top freshmen in the country, certainly in the state of South Carolina, when she signed with the Gamecocks. Bullet pass inside to Leverett. Leverett had her shot blocked, had it blocked again. Fagan, one of the top shot blockers in the SEC, got her twice.
Fagan doing a great job defensively, using her length, keeping her arms up straight, and Leverett is going to have to make a move.
Fagan, number 6 in the SEC, averaging 1.6 blocks per game, 33 total blocks on the season coming into tonight. Ball comes in to Davis. Davis missed the 3 on the corner. Raven Johnson pushes ahead for Edwards, and nearly a spectacular play. A little bit too long for Edwards to gather and get a good look. McCullough on the drive, muscled it up there, and Roxy McCullough with the basket.
Roxy McCullough's come out and been a little more aggressive than usual, as you see. Great in and out, attacks baseline, and able to finish through 2 defenders with contact, and her teammates love it.
It's good to see Roxy McCullough back out there. You would hate that she's had so many injuries in her career. This is the 4th program which she's played. She's had injuries throughout her career. She was a top freshman when she signed at Purdue, coming out of Canada by way of the Congo. But injuries have really set her back. She was at USC last year. Fulwiley the miss.
A little bit of a mismatch here. Fagan guarding Avinger.
She can take her off the dribble. Gives it up to Turner. 6 on the shot clock now. Trinity Turner spin move, kick out. Avinger 3. And the rebound controlled by Johnson.
Turner going to be called for the foul. She fouled Fagan down in the transition play. Not a bad foul if you're Georgia with that sort of mismatch in transition.
So 3 team fouls now on Georgia as Turner picks up her first. Flournoy back in the game for Georgia. Summer Davis comes off the floor. Yeah, that's a move that Summer Davis had been in the starting lineup. And inbounds, and right there is Joyce Edwards for the easy basket. We've seen way too much of that on the Georgia end here where they're getting beat on inbounds.
Yep, and I mean, great play by Dawn Staley. When you have a lot of screens and you're not communicating and you don't go to the point of where that screen is, you see breakdowns, and that's what's happened for Georgia lately on baseline out of bounds. Too easy of opportunities.
Backdoor cut. Nice dish by Trin Turner, and the basket by Avinger. 16-9. Edwards to the corner. Edwards gets it back. Nice touch pass. That's a beauty. What an assist by Joyce Edwards, and the finish by Fagan.
Great high-low. Edwards saw the positioning Fagan had. Just a quick dump down. Great awareness and great assist.
Different 6-second shot clock, game clock, and a foul called on Georgia. McCullough gets called for the foul, so now 4 team fouls on Georgia, but only 19 seconds left in the quarter.
And those sort of fouls are just such momentum killers. You see Damari Flournoy, I don't know if she even needed to screen, but Damari was coming up open, and unfortunately, a turnover for Georgia when they could have had a good look from their top shooting guard.
Can't miss opportunities here. Georgia down 9 as the quarter is coming to a close. South Carolina looks like they can play for a final shot right here. Pass goes into Edwards, backing down verse, traveling's the call, so that's why I said it looks like, because barring a turnover it would have been, but now Georgia gets that final shot again.
Yep, and Georgia here with 8 seconds. They really need to execute well. It would be great to go into the end of the quarter here with a bucket.
5 on the clock. Screen set, pickpocket by Fulwiley. Horn to beat, and missed the floater at the buzzer. She probably had time to take another step and get a layup off the backboard. Missed the floater as the quarter comes to a close. 18-9, South Carolina on top. What a pass by Edwards. Sports Center top 10 nominee here in quarter number 1. Seven assists on 7 made baskets, Anne-Marie, for South Carolina in that first quarter.
And as we mentioned, everyone can score for South Carolina. It doesn't matter if you start or you're on the bench. They're sharing the ball. They have 7 assists on 7 made field goals, all from different players. Just really speaks to the quality and the basketball IQ. They're happy to share the ball. They know that they can all score. And it's been a handful thus far for Georgia. 18-9, South Carolina leads heading into the second quarter.
Georgia's forced 5 turnovers and scored 5 points off those turnovers. Actually, South Carolina's #1 in the conference, fewest turnovers per game. So a pretty good job for Georgia doing that, but a great job by South Carolina. 7 for 14 shooting the ball, 3 for 5 on their threes to begin the game. Georgia 4 of 17 on the field goals and 1 of 4 on their threes. Trap here on Pow Pow, and jump ball called. Possession arrow, Georgia.
Good job by Georgia. Reads, good read, good trap, and Georgia able to maintain possession off the jump ball.
Lady Bulldogs trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. Their one and only win in the conference was the last time they won, and that was against Missouri on a buzzer beater by Trinity Turner, 74-72. South Carolina's won 16 in a row since their one and only loss, and that was to UCLA back on November 24th. And, of course, UCLA currently #1, South Carolina #2 in the national rankings. South Carolina is #1 in the net rankings. Kitts on the drive and miss. Maybe tried a little bit too much with that layup when simplicity might have been a little bit better.
Yeah, she went into the defense. Verse was already located on the block and was able to get a piece of Kitts' shot.
$10 on the shot clock. If Georgia plays this the way that Coach Abe wants them to, Georgia's going to go deep into the shot clock again tonight, knowing that's their best opportunity to try to pull off an upset here.
Yep, long possessions, executing their offense fully through.
Being patient on screens. And that's the #1 message right now to Trinity Turner is you got to be patient on your screens. You can't be like you were in high school just blowing by people. You got to wait on your screens.
Yep. When you don't wait on your screen, your post pays the price.
Pow Pow knocks down the 3. Second 3-pointer for Te-Hina Pow Pow. Shooting a career best 48.4% from the floor this season. And amazingly, she's been all conference every year of her college career, starting with her first 3 years at Oregon. Down to 3 on the shot clock. Florida got to do something with it. 1 on the clock. Heaves up a prayer. That's going to be a shot clock violation.
Please welcome back to the court for the Lady Dogs, Summer Davis.
And Coach Abe wants them to use the shot clock, but not the entire shot clock. You know, Damari's got to be a little bit more aware there in that possession. It's important to know what's on the clock, and unfortunately Georgia throws up a bad shot. In South Carolina now with an opportunity on offense.
Yeah, the purpose of that tempo offense, Pow Pow missed on the rim out, is to run the clock down and get a good shot, not just to run the clock down. Verse on the drive, plows into Kitts, and that's going to be an offensive foul on Verse. So first personal foul on Verse.
Already for Georgia. We've mentioned how they've been plagued with foul trouble. The freshmen have been in foul trouble, and right now, I mean, we have Verse, we have Woolfolk, both who have 1 foul for Georgia.
Killed him against Alabama on Sunday, but it's killed him in many, many games, not just that one. Turner gets up there and gets the pick. Will take it in and miss the layup. Davis gets it back and sticks it in.
Good board by Flournoy with a quick shuffle pass to Davis on the opposite block. And Georgia able to convert in transition.
Johnson 3-pointer. And the rebound by McColo. Carolina up 10, 21-11. Lob pass into Woolfolk, stolen from behind by Pow Pow. Knocked into the hands of Flournoy in the corner. Tried to feed Woolfolk in traffic and out of bounds off the Lady Bulldogs. Turnover for Georgia.
And they're collapsing on Woolfolk. The passer needs to do a head fake, needs to pass fake the opposite way. The weak side is collapsing in on Woolfolk and able to get their hands on the entry passes into her.
Edwards comes off the floor. She has 2 points in 9 minutes. Kitts right there in the middle of the defense. Missed. It's a good look for her. She doesn't miss those very often. Around the screen from Woolfolk. Turner at the elbow. Rim out. Trin Turner's now 0 for 4 in this game. As I mentioned, she's shot only 19% from the floor in her last 3 games. Pow off the glass. Kitts got the rebound. Top rebounder on this team. Bree Hall, air ball. Five and a half to play in the first half. Georgia with 11, South Carolina with 21. Georgia's missed their last 5 shots. Carolina's gone close to 3 minutes without scoring. Bounce pass right into the hands of Carolina. Fagan leading the break, gets it to Pow. Pow back to Fagan. Dish to Kitts. Beautifully done.
And Georgia's got to get back on defense. Great job by South Carolina sharing the ball. 3-on-2 situation. In Georgia, as Coach Abe has implored them, you have to get back on defense, make or miss.
McColo. And the rebound by Turner. Shot blocked by Hall. South Carolina, number 6 in the country in blocked shots. They've gotten 5 of Georgia's shots already tonight.
Great job by South Carolina. Pow gets it in for Sanaya Fagan with a great dish, and South Carolina up 12, heading into the timeout.
South Carolina up by 12 on Georgia, and of course looking to get back and play deep into March and early into April. Currently the number 1 seed in the bracketology from Charlie Cream, one of 10 teams from the Southeastern Conference projected right now to make the field of 64. And the resume for the Gamecocks, Anne-Marie, is spectacular. 21-1, 9-0 in the conference, net ranking of 1, strength of schedule 1, and the quality wins. They've got a bunch of those, and they got 5 more teams out of their last 8 games in the regular season that would qualify as a quality win. That's RPI 1 through 25.
Yep, and when you play in the SEC, as you saw, 10 players currently showing to get bids to the NCAA tournament. There's a lot of opportunities, and Pow is excited as the Gamecocks are currently up. She's leading South Carolina scorers right now with 6 points.
Yeah, and it's not just that you play in the SEC, which is a strong enough argument, but South Carolina goes out and takes on all challengers. They played UCLA back in November, and 10 days from now, they'll be playing UConn. Right in the middle of the conference schedule, and like UConn and Tennessee are playing tonight.
Yeah, they're non-conference, as you mentioned. I mean, their strength of schedule is crazy. Don Staley and the Gamecocks are not afraid to play any team in the nation, as we see with their strength of schedule.
And in women's basketball, you hear men's basketball, they refer to them as quad 1 victories, quad 1 games. In the women's basketball side of things, they refer to them as quality. But for the purpose of quad 1, they played 10 quad 1 games in which they've won, 3 more than any other team in the country. Fulwiley on the drive, missed the floater. Rebound comes down to Edwards, who sticks it in.
Her length, her ability to reach, her ability to finish as a freshman. Great job by Edwards on the offensive boards.
I thought it was interesting listening to Asia Wilson when she was interviewed during the game on Sunday when they retired her jersey during the Auburn game. She said that Edwards is farther along as a freshman than she was, and when I talked to Dawn Staley about that today, she said for sure, no doubt about it.
I mean, just looking at her length, I mean, hearing that sort of comparison, it really blows your mind. I mean, Asia Wilson, I mean, her resume is just ridiculous. 2 times WNBA champion, 3 times WNBA MVP. It just speaks to Edwards. As we see here, great offensive rebound, good power bounce, gets some space, able to use her length to finish.
And last 5 games averaging 17.6 points per game, shooting 65.5% from the floor. Long way to go, though, to be compared in the same breath as Asia Wilson. She was a program maker. Dawn Staley's done a great job. One of the greatest things she did was recruiting Asia Wilson, the top player in the country who was there in South Carolina, to stay at home and help build the Gamecocks program. At the time when Asia Wilson committed to the Gamecocks, they were not Tennessee. They were not UConn. They were not those programs, not yet, that they are now, obviously. And Asia Wilson's a big reason why they have become those programs, and even more so.
Even
but it was a big leap of faith by Asia Wilson.
Yep, and just her, I mean, her jersey retirement, her statue that's on campus, what all she's done for the program. She's so selfless, and what I love about her, she went into the Auburn locker room the game that she's getting her jersey retired, and who other than Joyce Edwards with the tip-in, another offensive rebound, 4 points back-to-back for Joyce Edwards.
Yeah, that's a couple of times now down the floor where Georgia has not boxed out Edwards and paid the price for it, as the Gamecocks have built a 16-point lead, and Georgia's called the timeout. And speaking of Asia Wilson's retirement, if you missed it, it was Sunday at Colonial Life Arena before the Gamecocks went out and beat Auburn 83-66, and looking glamorous and spectacular. Asia Wilson made her entrance, her entree into the building, and truly emotional as they raised her jersey to the banners.
And just what an amazing experience, and so well deserving. She's so humble. As I just mentioned, she went even to speak to the Auburn Tigers who are there playing unsolicited, just goes in there. Just what a great person in basketball, and she's done so much for the sport, along with her scroll of accolades that she's received over the years.
The 3 national championships, the 6 Final Fours out of the last 9 tournaments, the 16 total SEC championships, 8 regular, 8 tournament. They all came since Asia Wilson signed with the Gamecocks in 2014. Of course, went on to become the Naismith and Wooden Award National Player of the Year, South Carolina career leader in points and blocks, 3-time WNBA MVP. Oh yeah, and she's won gold medals too.
Some gold medals, some WNBA championships, Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year, professionally, collegiately. But no, Asia Wilson, congratulations to her on having her jersey retired with South Carolina.
And for South Carolina, it's the gift that just keeps on giving. She's such a great ambassador for the program and college basketball in general. The fact that she had all those accomplishments at South Carolina extend to the program today. There are young ladies who are attracted to the Gamecocks program because of what she did.
And her shoe released earlier this week, coming out in May, the A1 all pink. And a lot of really cool components regarding that shoe, that just her family, her past, her favorite color, just a really cool story, and how Nike helped bring her dream shoe to reality.
Gamecocks dominated on the board and could not get the ball to fall. Then Georgia in the transition. McCullough missed the layup but got fouled. They might want to check and see if there's a lid, invisible lid on that basket. They had so many shots at the hoop down here on the other end and could not get it to fall. So a break for Georgia. So McCullough stepping up to the line. The season summary for Georgia, well, they've seen better. 9-14, they're 1-8 in the SEC, tied with Missouri for 15th. They've started 3 freshmen in each of the last 7 games now. 64%, or 64 points per game, 13th in the conference. Damari Flournoy has been one of the few bright spots, one of the best 3-point shooters in the conference. Asia Avenger's been another bright spot. It's not measured statistically. Is all the valuable experience, although some of it painful right now for all these freshmen that Georgia's having to play. It'll pay off eventually.
Yeah, that's right. Having these minutes, playing in these competitive against these highly ranked teams, will just continue to grow the Georgia program throughout the years, having that experience day in and day out.
I think that's one of the reasons why Coach Abe, when she addressed her team during the shoot-around today, was encouraging them to not be afraid of the South Carolina mystique. And I think that's something with a young team you might be a little bit concerned about, because they've watched South Carolina on national TV throughout the course of their growing up as girl high school basketball players and now women's college basketball players. You see that 45% of Georgia's scoring comes from their rookies and 40% of their rebounding.
I mean, we spoke to that verse, Woolfolk. Those are two freshman posts that have just been phenomenal for Georgia as far as rebounding. They've really come in and provided a spark as freshmen. And Trinity Turner, her ability to score on 3 levels. She'll continue to get better. Right now struggling to finish, but the sky's the limit for her with her offensive and defensive abilities.
Jahate missed up close. Fulwiley on the drive, gets the layup. Went flying by the defense and got the easy 2. 29-13. Gamecocks on top by 16. Georgia scored only 4 points in the quarter. We have 70 seconds left in the quarter. Jahate spin move and a traveling call on Jahate.
And Coach Abe told Georgia they have got to get back on defense, made basket or missed basket. And Fulwiley attacks with 5 Georgia defenders in the paint.
Fulwiley is full throttle. All SEC freshman a year ago, SEC tournament MVP, Naismith watch list this year, averaging 11 points per game, 13 points per game in conference play.
I love a stat about her that I was surprised by. She is number 9 in the SEC in block shots per game. And I mean, this is a guard. You see her athletic ability to finish offensively, but to be top 9 in the SEC as a guard with blocks just speaks to her defensive ability as well.
Adele Tack going to the line. She's getting some extended minutes here tonight. She's only played in 14 of their 22 games prior to this evening and averaging only 4 minutes a game. So Tack out there late here in the first half, taking the free throw. Averaging just 1.4 points per game. And Tack gets the second free throw to fall. Final minute of the first half. Foul's going to be called on Fulwiley. That'll put Avenger at the line. Georgia has not scored a basket in over 6.5 minutes. They're 0 for 6, and now they're at the line here trying to get some points, and they failed to do so. Now 2 for 6 shooting free throws. Well, they've controlled the tempo, but they have not been able to gather the points along with controlling the tempo, which is a critical element to that strategy.
Green Hall will make another appearance for the Gamecocks, South Carolina basketball.
Final 37 seconds in the half as McDaniel brings it across. Timeout called by Coach Staley. Had a great conversation with Coach Staley today at the shoot-around. And I talked to her, I said, I compared it a little bit. I was watching an NBA game, and they talked about how the Boston Celtics playing a long NBA season, said they're just kind of bored. And I said, how do you battle that? Because you don't play in the NBA long season. You play a 40-game season, but you do play a long season. A lot of practices you play into April. How do you keep your team sharp? And she really credited the fact that she was a point guard in her playing days to understand players when they're tired, when they're just faking it, when intensity is needed. With a player like
rest. You know, we all think go, 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 but one thing she said is that she values rest just as much as she values working hard and putting the work in the gym. And I think on their bye week, Matt, they were really able to have a little bit of rest, regroup, refocus, and get ready for the end of the SEC.
Tessa Johnson knocks down the three in the corner as South Carolina expands their lead to 19. Final 10 seconds in the half. Ball goes to Woolfolk, inside against Tack, and a foul from behind with 1.4 seconds left in the half. Tack is called for the foul.
And South Carolina, they are over the limit.
So that's 5 team fouls on Carolina, puts them over the limit, but just a second left in the half, and Woolfolk at the line. And that will be the end of the first half. A 33-15 lead for South Carolina, Anne-Marie.
Yep, Georgia will have to regroup in the halftime, come back out, come with a little bit more fire. They've done a good job controlling the tempo, but just haven't been able to see the ball go through the hoop.
South Carolina dominates that second quarter, outscoring Georgia 15-6. They lead by 18 as we head to the locker room. Back at Stegman Coliseum, where the number 2 South Carolina Gamecocks lead Georgia 33-15. Matt Stewart along with Anne-Marie Armstrong. And Anne-Marie, true to script, South Carolina, very balanced attack. They lead by 18 points, yet their leading scorers, Powell and Edwards, have 6 points.
Very even scoring. Everyone but one Gamecock scored in the first half. And they shot well from the three-point line, 50%, 5 for 10. South Carolina did a great job executing in the first half, and Georgia will have to look to more scorers. They're going to have to lock down on defense. They have a lot to do here in the second half, Matt.
Dawn Staley said during the shoot-around, defense is their key. It makes up for a lot of mistakes that they might make. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They had 5 steals, 5 blocks in that first half.
Kitts using her length against Avenger, gets a piece of it. Te-Hina Fagan showing she can steal the ball, dribble it up the court. Fulwiley. They are so hard to guard in transition. Here you see back-to-back blocks by Te-Hina Fagan, who is a potential McLean Award on the watch list. So look for her. Great pass, great selflessness by the Gamecocks. They have 10 assists in the first half. Done a great job sharing the ball and truly showing how deep they are.
Indeed, they had 10 assists on 13 made hoops in that first half. All around a good solid effort by South Carolina. You would expect nothing less. Shooting 41% to Georgia's 19. 5 for 10 on threes. Georgia 1 for 7. Powell, their leading scorer, along with Edwards, both have them at 6 points. And Georgia, again, this is a game-by-game problem for Georgia. They have these long stretches where their offense disappears, where they can't score the ball. That happened to them there in that second quarter where they went 7+ minutes without a hoop.
Yeah, and that's just tough. If you're not scoring the ball, you're not going to be able to win games. And Georgia has got to come out. They're doing a great job of maintaining the tempo, using almost the full shot clock, but they've got to generate some better looks and make some shots, Matt.
South Carolina outscored Georgia 18-9 in the first quarter, 15-6 in the second. We'll see what Georgia is able to do. Now, Georgia was effective in controlling the tempo. They've been running the shot clock down low, under 10 seconds before they really even initiate the offense, sometimes 5 seconds before they even get their first shot off. That's all well and good, but you got to score.
Yeah, that's right. They've gotten some good looks late in the shot clock. They've missed a few bunnies. And Georgia will start with the ball here, starting the third quarter.
And they got to find a way to rebound better. They got out, as you pointed out, rebounded 28-16 in that first half. Turner stops and pops. Could not make the bucket over Fagan, or over Hall, pardon me, Bree Hall. South Carolina back the other way. Great ball movement right there in the middle, and did not get the bounce on the shot by Fagan. But I'm impressed by the ball movement from South Carolina. They've done a really good job. Ball doesn't get stuck in any one player's hands. Step back, Avenger, beauty. Probably the top offensive highlight for Georgia in the game right there with the jab step, step back basket by Avenger.
And as you mentioned, that's the first bucket for Georgia in over 8 minutes. They need more field goals. They had 7 minutes that they didn't score. And great find. Sanaya Fagan finds her counterpart down low, Chloe Kitts, for an easy lay. Georgia has got to communicate better in this matchup zone.
Again, great ball movement. Fagan, their center, has 4 assists. She leads the team in playmaking here tonight. Avenger with the rainbow shot up over Fagan.
Good execution by Georgia. Earlier shot than they might like, but Avenger makes it go in, and no one can be mad about that.
Ball trying to go to Fagan. They've been trying to go to Fagan this entire possession. They finally tried to squeeze it in there, and it got knocked out of bounds.
And Asia Avengers come out early in the third quarter, bringing some offensive heat. Great move, great step back. And then going off the double screen, great pull-up jumper at the elbow, and Avenger with a quick 4 points to begin the third quarter.
I was waiting to see that play. They ran that play in shoot-around today, the lob and pass to Kids. And I felt like Georgia would have some trouble with it when they tried to execute that, and that's exactly what they did on that possession. Just the lob to Kitts, who has great size advantage over the Georgia players, especially when she jumps up to catch the ball. Avenger, another basket for Avenger. She's come out on fire, hit 3 straight baskets.
You know, that's why we talked about her at the beginning of the game. She's relentless. She has no fear. She's going to continue to play regardless.
Kitts could not control the rebound. Avenger brings it across for Georgia. Drops it off for Flournoy. Surprised she didn't take a 3 right there. Instead, Turner will take the 3 and airball. Out of bounds off Georgia. Trinity Turner now 0 for 7 in this game, 0 for 2 on her threes. That makes her 7 for 44 shooting in her last 4 games and 1 for 14 on her threes. Six on the shot clock. Fagan puts it on the floor with 3 on the clock and hit the jumper right in the middle.
Nice move by Fagan, catches it at the high post. Good read, puts it on the floor to her left. And an easy bucket for Sanaya Fagan.
Went to Forest Park High School in the Atlanta area, same high school that produced Pro Football Hall of Famer Heinz Ward. Feed from Avenger to Woolfolk, got her players and opponents in the air and didn't get the bunny.
And Woolfolk started backing up. She thought the shot was in. She could have stayed there and got the offensive rebound.
Fitz with the 3-pointer.
And another assist for the Gamecocks. Pow finds Kitts for 3. That's 12 assists on the game. Make that 13 assists on the game for the Gamecocks.
And the Gamecocks are 6 of 12 shooting their 3 here tonight. They lead by 21. They've doubled up Georgia. Bounce pass into Woolfolk in traffic. And muscles it up and in. Second basket for her tonight.
She wasn't going to miss that one after that last miss. The focus, Mia Woolfolk. They've got to find her more on the inside.
Foul on Pow. And Avenger shaken up on the play. The Georgia medical staff was getting ready to come on the floor, and Woolfolk told him to go back.
Georgia basketball.
Woolfolk decided, you're okay. You'll be all right, Avenger. We need you out here.
Yeah, Avenger didn't want to come out of the game. She's tough. Transfer from San Diego State. She's been a big addition to this Georgia program over the last couple of years. Woolfolk puts it on the floor and again try to muscle it up there. And a foul is going to be called on South Carolina. And this will be on Fagan. And this will be her first.
That's Fagan's first personal of tonight's game and South Carolina's second team foul.
Pow with a quick reversal to Kitts. Kitts showing she can score from 3. 13 assists on the game, 6 threes for South Carolina, shooting 50% beyond the arc.
That was just the 10th three-point attempt for Kitts this season. She's hit 4 of them. Woolfolk at the line. Got the bounce and the bounce off the backboard too. Georgia now 6 of 11 at the line. 9 of 33 from the floor, 1 of 8 on their threes. Down 17. Carolina back on offense. Hall in the corner. Nothing but net.
Summer Davis lost track of where the shooter was. She dropped to the corner and had just enough space to get her shot off. Had 7 threes for South Carolina, shooting over 53%.
Yeah, they've hit more threes now than they typically do. They're 6.1 a game. They're now at 7 here, midway through the third quarter. Flournoy stepped back. Defense flew at her, missed the shot that was then open, and Woolfolk fumbles it out of bounds. And a timeout on the floor. 4:39 to play in the third. Carolina up 20. 6 total Bulldogs for the Eagles. 8 total in the game. Who are you pulling for? Anne-Marie. Don't give me that look.
I have no team in the fight, but I'm going to be going for. I'll go with Philadelphia.
Okay.
You?
Asia Avenger just got hit in the mouth, so I was checking on her. Looks like she got hit right in the teeth. She's taking a beating here in this third quarter. Yeah, I don't know. You got so many Georgia Bulldogs, so the SEC thing rings in a little bit better with the Eagles than it does the Chiefs. So maybe for that reason. But I don't know that I can pick against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. They have just found a way to win so many one-score games. Already set an NFL record for one-score victories. They just seem to get it done. But it should be interesting. And, of course, Jalen Hurts, the quarterback for Philadelphia Eagles, Coach Dawn Staley's favorite player, started Alabama, led them to a national championship. McCullough with the shot clock down to 5. Out there on the wing, Summer Davis with 3 on the clock, hit the iron, and the rebound by Fagan lost it out of bounds, but Woolfolk knocked it out of bounds. The thing I'm most looking forward to on Super Bowl Sunday are the chicken wings.
Good old tailgating food.
There you go. Fulwiley changed her shot in the air and banked it in. Super play by Malaysia Fulwiley. Flournoy, step back, no shot there. McCullough inside, muscles it up and in. Roxy McCullough with the basket. That'll be her second. Fulwiley steps into the 3 from the dog leg and missed it. Got a big Bulldog logo painted on the floor. It's new for the Gamecocks. They did not. They were asking about it when they came into for the shoot around today, but a new Bulldog on the floor, and she shot from the dog leg. Inside it goes to Woolfolk. And put it off the glass.
Woolfolk does such a good job gathering, creating space with her shoulder, and even finishing over the bigger post. She does a great job on that right-hand side.
After that long 8-minute drought, Georgia and South Carolina tied up 14 apiece in the quarter. Fulwiley missed the 3, and Woolfolk got the rebound. Less than 3 minutes to play in the third. Georgia down 18. Long lead for Fulwiley, runs it down and lays it in.
Fulwiley almost was out of position on that pick and roll. She comes from behind Avenger, gets a back tip, leaks out, and another 2 points for South Carolina in transition.
She has 8. Only one player in double figures in this game, either team, and that's Kitts with 11. Flournoy with the blow by. Powell. Rebound Fagan. Fouled on the putback. Mass substitutions. 3 come in for Carolina, 3 come in for Georgia.
Please welcome to the north for the Lady Dogs.
And Michaela Fulwiley leaks out after her back tip on Avenger. Able to gather. Gets up, taps the backboard. 2 points off of turnover for the Cocks.
Now Fagan at the line. Carolina only 2 of 4 at the foul line here in this game. Fagan, 78% free throw shooter, made the first. Fagan is on the Katrina McLean watch list, which goes to the nation's top power forward. Katrina McLean, of course, starred here at the University of Georgia, member of their Final Four teams. Has her number retired, number 32, one of 3 former Lady Bulldogs to have their number retired, along with Janet Harris and Teresa Edwards, and of course on the men's side, Dominique Wilkins.
And Katrina McLean, 2-time Kodak, All-American, WCBA Player of the Year. She was a prolific rebounder, scorer, super aggressive and dominant. And Sanaya Fagan is on the watch list for that Katrina McLean award.
Early in my career, I was in radio and working in Athens at that time. And that's when I first saw Katrina McLean play. I'd never seen a woman play like her. She was so powerful inside. A true power forward. It's quite appropriate that she has the award for the best power forward because power really fit her game. That was her game. Knocked out of bounds by Edwards, so Georgia gets it side out with 10 seconds on the shot clock. 1:18 to play in the quarter. Three seconds. Turner did not get the bounce. 1 minute to play in the quarter. Johnson and Tessa Johnson knocks down the 3. That is the 8th for the Gamecocks on 16 attempts.
Good find by Chloe Kitts. She sees her shooter. She rips the pass to the corner. And another assist, 16 assists on the game for the Gamecocks.
Summer Davis. Kitts with the box out, got the rebound. Fulwiley 3. Long rebound to the corner, and Turner.
Ball is out. South Carolina will maintain possession.
8 for 17, the Gamecocks shooting the 3 ball tonight.
Fulwiley throws it into Kitts. Kitts with the quick pass to the corner to Tessa for 3, and the Gamecocks. 8 threes on the game, shooting just under 50%.
So Gamecocks get it side out of bounds in front of their bench after Turner could not run the ball down in the corner. There's a difference of 2 seconds game clock and shot clock here in the third quarter. Down to 12 seconds to play in the quarter. Kitts puts it on the floor. Tried to step through the defense, got stripped by Davis. Davis gets it back with 5 seconds. Avenger with 3. Long 3 from the dog leg, and air ball. Three quarters in the books in Athens. Carolina on top, 54-31. One of the best players ever to put on the Lady Bulldogs uniform here in attendance tonight, 1996 National Player of the Year, Saudia Roundtree, being introduced to the crowd between quarters earlier tonight. A 54-31 lead for South Carolina as we head to the fourth at Stegman Coliseum. SEC headlines, Anne-Marie, let's take a look at them. Big game tonight as Tennessee taking on UConn. And as we mentioned, 10 days from now, South Carolina will take on UConn. One of the classic, iconic rivalries in women's college basketball, going back to the days of Pat Summitt and Chino Auriemma. Anisha Morrow, LSU, at least 15 points, 15 rebounds, last 11 games. Missouri playing host to LSU tonight. And Izzy Higginbottom of Arkansas scored 30-plus points in each of the last 3 games. Arkansas is at Mississippi State tonight. They will be here at Stegman Coliseum taking on Georgia on Sunday. That game straight up noon on SEC Network.
Yeah, a few good games coming up here in the next few minutes. Check them out. Anisha Morrow has been huge for LSU. As you've seen, 15 points, 15 rebounds in 11 games. She is a walking double-double, and she's someone who plays with a lot of power. Speaking of Katrina McClain, she is relentless on the O boards and brings a lot of offense to the LSU Tigers.
And I think that UConn-Tennessee rivalry was one of the rivalries that really helped put women's basketball on the map. In the early days, you had the classic rivalry, Pat Summitt. Everybody loved Pat Summitt. Nobody liked Chino Auriemma, at least down here in the Southeast. So he was the guy from the North, but they got their fair share of victories there. But it was a classic rivalry, no doubt about it. Great mutual respect between those two programs and those two coaches. Of course, South Carolina has picked up the mantle and also schedules UConn on an annual basis. Ball tipped away as Georgia tried to go inside. Fulwiley dumps it off for Tessa Johnson. Chalk up another assist for the Gamecocks at 17 on 22 mades. And a timeout called by Georgia here in the opening minute of the fourth quarter. Stepping aside with the Gamecocks on top by 25. Mylazy Fulwiley, another one of the Palmetto State high school basketball stars that elected to stay at home and play for the home state team.
And Fulwiley showing her athletic ability, scoring with no other offender down on the basket. Here you see her taking it in, changes her shot midair, finishes over the Georgia post, back tips, and able to leak out for another layup. Fulwiley has 8 points on the game, showing why she was a 2024 SEC All-Freshman team as well as 2024 SEC Tournament MVP.
Great athleticism and explosiveness, gets to the ball quickly, gets the bucket. And a 25-point lead as we come out of the timeout. Georgia back on offense. Block from behind. Edwards got the block on Woolfolk. And it comes to Fulwiley. Edwards working against Woolfolk now. Try to drop step. Another drop step. And a nice dish to Tessa Johnson right in the middle of the zone.
Georgia's weak side got caught watching the ball. Great cut by Tessa Johnson. Finishes over the post. 6'5", Jahate.
Johnson now in double figures. She has 10. Only 2 players in double figures, either team. And that's Kitts and Johnson. Of course, Georgia only has 31 points total. McCullough on the drive with the left hand, got fouled on her scoop shot. Johnson called for that foul. And that'll be the first on her. And that'll be the first team foul on the Gamecocks here in the fourth. And McCullough going to the line. She's got 6 points tonight in 17 minutes of work. Been good to get her back. Georgia now 7 for 12 on their free throws tonight. She's had 5 double-figure scoring games this season in her first and only season with Georgia. She had only 5 total in her first 4 seasons of college basketball. She got a shot at double-figure night tonight. She's got 7 points in 17 minutes. Johnson blows right by the Georgia defense, goes in for the layup. Wow. 28-point lead. Stolen by Tessa Johnson. Got Fulwiley out there, gets it to her. Couldn't complete the lob. Gets it back. Knocked away, Woolfolk picks it up.
Georgia has numbers that they look to push it up.
Avenger, did she travel? I think she did. Fulwiley missed the layup. Edwards missed up close. Georgia brings it back the other way. Woolfolk in deep. Gets the rebound. Pushes it ahead to McDaniel. She gets the layup and puts it in. Maddie McDaniel going to the line for a chance at the three-point play. Great body control.
And now that makes all South Carolina eligible players to play have now scored in the game, Matt.
Goes back to our game starting theme of the balance of this South Carolina roster. They got 10 players, and all 10 of them can hurt you. McDaniel misses the three-point play, but Kitts gets the rebound. And now a foul is called on Georgia. Avenger on the reach in. That'll be the second personal on her. I've been doing this a while, as you know. I was here and called the game the first time that Dawn Staley ever came to Georgia and beat Georgia here at Stegman. That was back in 2010. I asked her about that today, not specifically that game, but the early stages of the rivalry when she took over as a South Carolina coach and Georgia dominated the series. She said, I just remember playing against Andy, and it was all defense. Neither team could really score, and you were on the floor that night, the game I'm referencing. Nobody could score. It was all about how much offense we could squeeze out of our defense to try to win the game. What do you remember about it?
Not much, probably. Probably by choice.
It was really kind of first team to 50 wins.
Yeah, and back in those days, that's crazy to say, but, you know, times change. But we were scoring in some of those games. LSU had a crazy matchup zone. It would really be battle of the defenses, as you said. I mean, I remember the LSU game. We barely got over 40 points, both teams, but it was really a lot of defense. And now we see, how the game's changed, but South Carolina putting up strong, strong numbers.
McCullough at the line. Gets them both. So McCullough now with 9 points in 19 minutes. Good for her. 28-point lead for Carolina after those free throws by McCullough. Dowda threw it right to Avenger. Fed to McCullough, working against Dowda. And McCullough missed the fadeaway. Baseline jumper. Fulwiley pushes it up the floor for Carolina. Gets fouled on the layup. As you referenced off the top in the game, they brought 2 bus loads. Seems like a boatload.
It's a boatload of people.
It is a boatload of people on the buses. 2 of them from Columbia today to attend this game.
I was shocked getting here 2 hours early and finding people waiting outside of the Coliseum to get in super early, but just speaks to the fans of South Carolina. They love their Gamecocks, and there are a lot of them here present today in Athens.
Scramble for the ball, and finally a whistle. Do we have a foul call? Nope, just out of bounds on Georgia.
South Carolina will take possession.
South Carolina will be at Texas on Sunday. That'll be a great matchup. They already beat the Longhorns once this season in Columbia. Beat them 67-50 at Colonial Life. They get them in Austin this time. Miller had her shot blocked. Pardon me, Walker, not Miller. Te-Hina Walker in the game for the first time, so Coach Dawn Staley getting some of her deeper reserves into the game here now. Te-Hina Walker, who had played in just 9 games the entire season. So you take a look at Carolina. Their schedule, they got a lot of quality win opportunities coming up here. At Texas, ranked 4th in the country on Sunday. Next home game at Colonial Life next Thursday night against Florida. Then you got UConn on the Sunday right after that Florida game, and that'll be at Colonial Life as well. That no doubt will be a ticket in great demand. 5 minutes to go in this one. 30-point lead for Carolina. 6 on the shot clock. Turner got it. First bucket for Trin Turner. Been a tough shooting go for her the last couple of weeks. McDaniel weaves through the defense and got it off the back iron. Lead for Woolfolk, intercepted by Walker. Fulwiley 3, hard off the back iron, long rebound, and Woolfolk's got it. They head to Avenger. Avenger pulls up. Walker snags another rebound. Five on the shot clock. McDaniel's got to go with it. And gets the floater again. Nice touch. Second consecutive possession. She's been able to negotiate the rim with that nice soft touch of hers. And it's 68-36. Turner back-to-back baskets. Intercepted by Turner. Under 3 to go. Flournoy, shot block, rebound Walker, cleared to Fulwiley. And the layup, timeout on the floor. And 70-38 as the teams head to the bench. She was going to go to the Super Bowl, but her plans have changed. They're playing at Texas in Austin, and she's now not going to be able to get into New Orleans in time to get to the game, so she'll just have to watch it. But she'll be cheering wherever she's watched it, on the big screen or there in the stadium. she'll be cheering for her Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts is her current favorite player. So I asked, okay, old school, Andre Waters and the Minister of Defense, Reggie White, her all-time favorite players. And she'll be pulling for the Eagles, as she always does. She'll probably be wearing an Eagles jersey on the sideline in Austin on Sunday.
Which means she'll be cheering for a few former Georgia Bulldogs as well.
Oh, yeah. She's well aware of that. Ball popped up into the air. 5 on the shot clock. Contact as Verse goes to the hoop strong and got fouled.
Maya Verse with a big finish at the rim with a lot of contact. She'll head to the line for a chance at a three-point play. In Georgia, with 5 freshmen on the court right now, Matt, just showing.
Yeah, the Davis twins on the floor for the first time in a long time. They don't usually get on the floor together, but India, Summer gets more playing time. India has had to be more patient this season, but she's out there with her sister right now. Tren on the dish to Woolfolk, fumbled it away, 7 on the shot clock. India Davis takes the 3. And the air ball is corralled by Verse and stuck in for the basket. Dowda gets it in deep against Woolfolk. Lots of contact. And a foul's going to be called on Woolfolk.
The thing about Woolfolk, she's going to get use of all of her fouls. She now has 4 fouls. And it looks like Leveretter will be checking in for Woolfolk.
She doesn't like to leave them unused. She says, you get fouled, you get 5. I'll use my 5.
I don't want to leave any on the table.
Exactly. Like timeouts. Can't take them with you. Miriam Dowd at the line. Makes it a 71-42 game. Dowda averaging less than 2 points per game. This will be the 19th straight win for South Carolina in the series.
Ball is out. The ball on the court is Georgia basketball. 5 seconds on the
5 seconds on the shot clock and 1:13 on the game clock. Summer Davis on the step back. Shot was partially blocked. Fulwiley on the drive and the thread-the-needle pass. Fouls called on Georgia.
Fulwiley will head to the line for 2 shots as both teams are in the bonus.
Has a chance with these free throws to end up being the Gamecocks' leading scorer tonight. She has 12 points. Not a great efficient night. 5 of 16 shooting. And now 2 of 3 on her free throws and 0 for 3 on her threes. And 25 minutes of work. Fulwiley, Tessa Johnson, and Kitts. The Gamecocks in double figures. And now Fulwiley with 13. No Lady Bulldogs in double figures. 45 seconds to go. Turner the miss. Dowd the rebound. Foul on Turner. That'll put Dowda at the line. Georgia is over the limit, so South Carolina shooting bonus for the rest of the game. Gamecocks celebrating what will be their 57th consecutive SEC regular season win. That's amazing. They've won 70 in a row at home.
I mean, just prolific. The program, as you mentioned, I mean, one of the top, if not the top team, arguably in the NCAA. Gosh, and they're one team you don't want to see walking into your gym.
No doubt they'll, in all likelihood, barring some upsets, get another shot at UCLA in the Final Four, you would think. Leverredder had it stripped out of bounds. Don't see South Carolina getting stopped before the Final Four. It would be their 7th in the last 10. Will UCLA get there again to meet them? Should be interesting, an interesting run in March. 10 seconds. Turner with 2 on the shot clock. Shot clock violation on Georgia.
4.6 seconds left on tonight's game.
4 seconds to go. South Carolina will be 22-1. Their 17th consecutive victory since their lone loss of the season at now #1 UCLA. Fulwiley goes for 13. Johnson had 12. Kitts finished with 11. South Carolina kind of methodical in what they do, Anne-Marie. They followed the script and beat Georgia by 32.
Yeah, South Carolina, great job. Beat them on the boards by 18. Shared the ball well, almost 20 assists. Shot 40% from the three-point line, almost 50% from the floor, and South Carolina adds another win.
And in a series Georgia once owned, South Carolina has now won 19 in a row over the Lady Bulldogs, in large part because of that woman right there, the legendary Dawn Staley. And now for my partner, Anne-Marie Armstrong, our producer, Megan Campbell, our director, Beth Ann Niblett. I'm Matt Stewart. So long from Athens, where the Gamecocks win again.